Hello, my name is Jacob, and behind me is my incredible Leopard 48 catamaran Momentum. So Momentum is a far cry from a stock catamaran. Literally hundreds of changes from what you would originally been stock. And so there's a lot of interesting things to tell you about, and I'll start running through them. But the most important thing, the most life-changing thing, is that she runs completely off-grid without a generator. And I've been now 2 months living on board, and I don't lack for any amenity on board, and I'm doing it all off solar power and with no generator. Now, there is backup power though, because I did install Balmar high output alternators on both motors. And so she has the ability to recharge batteries very quickly if you need to, just off the alternators. And I can tell you that when it's cloudy, when it's, when I first got here, it's cold. When it's cold and the days are short and it's cloudy, she's not really a wintertime boat, but that's when you would probably need those alternaters. And because there's a couple days I ran the heat all day long in the boat, and then you're running the heat all day and all night. Yeah, you need to have a little backup power, because usually those are the days it's cloudy all day. So so there, if you do need it, you do have backup. But right now, yeah, air conditioning in the cabins, and cooking on induction stove, baking with convection, heating my water on electric. I literally don't use any diesel fuel or propane, living completely off grid. So yeah, she's an amazing boat. So the Dinghy is pretty heavy, but not to worry, because the winch on this has been upgraded to a heavy duty winch. Has no problem hauling up a heavy boat. So it's as simple as clipping her on and activating the switch right here. So this is a 2023 model Dinghy. It's got a 25 horse motor. It's got all the options. It's got a stereo system. It's got a bilge pump. It's electric start. Pretty much you name it, it's here. So really, really nice. Like I said, a little heavy, but the davit can handle it no problem. Just nice Dinghy to have on here. So I sleep soundly at night on this boat thanks to this ground tackle. We got 3/8 chain over 200 feet, and you've got the best anchor in the world. It's a 100-pound stainless steel ultra anchor and the ultra swivel. And so you combine all those things, and this boat will hold through just about any conditions and in any conditions. Now, you just open this to get to your anchor and windlass. Control right here. So yeah, real easy. I've just marked the chain fresh with new markers, and I put the guide in here that tells you exactly where you're at on the length of chain you have out. So super easy. For safety reasons, I've just stuck a knife in here. If anything gets tied up on the chain or anchor as you're coming up, you can use that to quickly cut it off. So I've accounted for that. Also, I've just completely rebuilt the top of the windlass, and I put brand new servo, solenoid servos. I don't remember. Brand new control unit for the windlass, and in a brand new box inside here. So Everything on the windlass has been just recently updated and done, so she's good to go. Okay, I'll try to give you a little tour of the engine rooms here. So you got the 57 horse Yanmar, you got the SD60 sail drive, really the best combination, and things are pretty clean in here. Here you can see the couple of the controls for the high output alternators, and you can, I don't know if you can see it, but while we're in here, the engine start batteries are isolated. They do not run off the alternators anymore. They have their own charging system that controls the correct voltage for those batteries. And so that was part of the change in the alternators. Everything has been rewired on this boat as far as the charging system goes. Okay, getting a look into the other engine room. Notice that this engine does look a little different. This is a 2019 motor. And so same 57 horse, same SD60 sail drive, but everything in here is a little bit newer. But the same new alternator and control unit for the alternator up there. Okay, so we'll get a look at the heartbeat of this boat. Here's your batteries. And a lot of people are going with Battleborns on these boats, on catamarans. And if you were going to do Battleborns here, you'd have to have 16 batteries here. So this is equivalent to 1600 amp hour batteries. This is a 20.5 kilowatts of power, and I really like how this came out. A nice simple install with central bus bars right in the middle, and then all that runs down to the main bus bars for the boat. So really a nice setup here. Then I put a little 12 volt plug. You could plug in a little 12 volt refrigerator freezer out here if you wanted to, right to this. So that's how I had it when I had this boat before. Okay, now we're going to look at the close up at the solar panel setup here. So we've got 4 of these 280 watt panels over the helm station, and 4 more cantilevered back out over the back here, right behind the sheeting lines. The neat thing about these is they rotate. In fact, I might just go ahead and rotate them depending on how the wind changes here today. But yeah, so if the sun's afternoon sun, or if the sun's at an angle, behind the boat, you can angle them back, and then the rest of the time they're angled a little bit forward. This is also how they lock down for high winds or for travel. So they're very stable in this position, but you can, but as long as it's reasonably calm out, you can rotate them the other way, and that works great also. Over on this side is where the Starlink is mounted, and the nice thing is this is one of the motion dishes. So this guy actually rotates around as the boat moves. It moves and keeps a good signal on the satellite. So works really well. Never have had any problem with it. There was only one point ever under sail where the sail was out on this side of the boat, and it was blocking a lot of the signal, and the speed went down quite a bit. But that was sort of an edge case. That's only one time that ever happened. So yeah, so if the sail's directly over it, and depending which way you're going, maybe you might get a little interruption there, but really it works pretty good in this spot. Okay, so I'm here in the galley, and I wanted to point out the most important thing in this room. One of the most important things is the washer dryer, and a lot of people on these Leopard 48s are modifying one of the heads to fit a washer dryer. That's the most common thing to do. Everybody wants to put a washer dryer in the boat, but this solution, to me, having lived with this boat and have this washer dryer in my RV also, this is definitely the way to go, and for multiple reasons. So let me tell you, one of the things that really is good about it is this kitchen really should be a U-shaped kitchen, because when you're sailing, having something on either side really is helpful for balance. So a U-shaped kitchen is a smarter layout for this boat anyways, and then putting the washing machine here gives you that extra counter space in that U-shaped kitchen. So so the functionality and the space has actually worked out really well. Also, this washer dryer is terrific. It's by far the largest capacity you can get for this size. It washes and dries a good sized load in 3.5 hours. So and it doesn't use very much water. I mean, it's brilliant. You can do laundry while you're sailing. So that is an awesome feature here. Here's the best look I could give you at the clean start system. It's installed on the washing machine here. It comes on automatically as soon as the water flows starts flowing through it, so no detergent required. Keeps the ocean clean also. Okay, in the galley, besides the washer and dryer, I'll point out some other things. There is a trash chute right here, so you can open that, throw your trash in. The trash also opens this way. There's, of course, the reservoir for the dishes, which is under here. So that's your dish drying rack. Now, also, you can use that. The faucet will reach over there. You could actually use that as a wash basin or something, like a third sink. Let me point out appliances. You do have convection microwave, convection oven, and induction stove. So you can avoid using all propane if you want to. But you can also, this is still just sitting in here. This is not built in at this point. This could be built in, but it's optional for the new owner to do what they want with. So you can actually put this to the side. You can have multiple cooktops. You can have 2 ovens. Also, the Ninja over here is an air fryer and crock pot and everything. So you actually do then have 2 air fryers, 2 stove tops, and 2 ovens on the boat. So great flexibility if you're entertaining or you're cooking for a lot of people. Okay, so the nav desk, forward-facing nav station. Really a great place to keep watch if you're, especially if the weather's a little less than pleasant outside or raining. You can keep watch right here. Overnight watch, this is the best spot. This is set up for the iPad to slide in. So the iPad on this boat does connect to the radar. So if you're on night watch, then you can have the radar up on the iPad. And of course, you can also have the navigation up on the iPad. There probably should even be like 2 slots for 2 iPads because that would be the perfect situation in this boat. Also, it doesn't have it, but having your autopilot control here, you've got your gauge, you got your wind and all that here, but you don't have autopilot control. So having the autopilot control with the navigation and the radar would be the really cat's meow for this station. But there is storage under here for your pens and pencils and documents and things. Of course, there's a USB plug for your phone and your iPad. And if I were to change anything about this, besides, like I said, maybe have another slot for an iPad, I might put, I mean, you can use pillows here, but I might have a backrest fashioned and actually just have a backrest on here. That way you could sit comfortably forward facing. There's just a few things that would make it really even better than it is, but it's already a great spot. Very comfortable spot. I like to also sit this direction. I like to sit this direction. I'd probably put a cushion like right on here too. And I usually would just have pillows here. But this is one of my favorite places to sit and watch TV or talk to people. So this station is comfortable, used for socializing or for navigating. Okay, so working around the space in here, there is storage under all the seating areas. And so this one is pretty much empty right now, but usually you'd have your foods in here. There's games under here. There's medical supplies under this one. There's cooking appliances under that one over there. And the one in the very back is where all the documentation for the boat is, the owner's manuals and all the manuals for everything on the boat. And then on this side over here, under the nav station, is also storage. And under the nav desk itself is a storage compartment. And so there's room in there also. Okay, the last area in here to show you, the fridge here. Fridge, freezer, there's another fridge right out there. I wanted to point out that these are AC powered fridges, conventional. You can order them from Home Depot or anywhere, and they've been the most durable, reliable fridges. Better, best thing you could ask for. They barely use any power, and they're inexpensive and easy to replace. So to me, they don't. That one's starting to corrode a little. This one doesn't look like super nice, but I punched up on HomeDepot.com. You can order another one this exact size. Beautiful looking stainless steel. It's not even that expensive. So these are kind of plug and play and super reliable fridges. The main panels behind here, dishes, cups and glasses, ice machines right here, Android smart TV. What else? That's pretty much the story over here. Okay, so I'm here in starboard aft cabin, and I'll point out details in just one cabin, and then I'll just breeze quickly through the other 3 because they're all configured pretty much exactly the same. I'll do the same with the bathrooms. I'll just pick one of the heads. I'll show you everything, and then just breeze through the other three. So, couple things to know about in here. First of all the beds are modified to the full width. They're not the original ones were kind of curved and you could walk around. So everything's full width. Your back two are king size. Your front two are queen size or thereabouts. They're not perfect. This side has 4 drawers, where the other side is a stock setup still with just 2 drawers. But then otherwise, let's look at the arrangement here. Every cabin has a fan. Every cabin has 2 side hatches. Every cabin has an overhead hatch. They all have the shelving on the sides. A couple of them have an extra overhead cabinet. And they all have a hanging locker. And they all have USB and AC outlets on the sides right here. Okay, so here is with the cabin door closed. And this is the first year that the Leopard 48's got doors on their bathrooms. So that's a nice upgrade they made here. And so quickly look at what you get in each of the heads. So yeah, nice glass. There's a door here to the shower, so it's an enclosed shower. And then we've got these little tiny trash bins, because you can't put any kind of paper in these toilets if you want to keep them from clogging. But of course, they're electric toilets. And there's a side hatch and there's an overhead hatch. And that is about the extent. Oh, medicine cabinets. They all have medicine cabinets. So that's that. So now we're forward, still on the starboard side. And this is the side that has the water maker. So there's equipment behind that hatch. There's equipment under the floor here, the big pump, the water maker pump. The water maker is controlled just by switches up at the main panel. So all you have to do down here is just double check water quality and flow and make sure pressure is right in that. Right, so we're up here at the helm station. In this boat, only one of these winches is powered these days, and that's the one that you really need to be power, because you're running the main halyard over here. If you're really desperate to use power, you can actually loop a line across and right to this one and just power it that way if you want to. But anyway, that's how that's set up. The motors are just serviced. We'll start them up just to show you. So we can get the hours. So can you see that? 2285, 2367. There's your hours. Brand new controls on here. So you can easily turn that guy up. Do the same on this other one. So yeah, I've been on the boat full time for a couple months now, and I've been working every day on the boat, just getting her cleaned up. She had been sitting through the winter. So getting her cleaned up and going through every last thing I can find on the boat to make sure everything is working properly, and serviced and taken care of. So I've actually done a lot of little things over the last couple months, just to make sure when the new owner takes possession that you won't be annoyed by tons of little things. And I'll run through some of the things I've done. Of course, she's a boat. There's always things to do, but the checklist is down to just like a couple items now. I've gone through probably 50. I mean, realistically, probably 50 things I had on a checklist just to take care of. So yeah, really got her ship shape and ready to go. So I'm gonna try to run through, if I can even remember everything, and show you just some of the things I'm working on over the last couple months that are all fresh and new. Here we go. So I did 6 new speakers. These are high quality dual range 7.5 inch speakers, 4 outside, 2 inside. Really nice sound. Really happy with those. I went through all the cabinets and I upgraded the latches on many of them to get a lot better holding and make sure everything is working right. So a lot of the cabinets have had the latches replaced, and the rest of them just had them adjusted, so all the cabinets are opening and shutting and the doors are holding properly. I did these nice new reading lamps over the bunks in the rear cabins. They're got night lights and reading lights in them, so those are real nice. I also went through all the ceiling lighting and made sure there wasn't anything burned out. Ended up replacing several of these lights so the tones would match, and they're not different tones in the same room, so all the lighting is in good shape. Inside the heads, I've replaced all the shower diverter valves on all 4 heads. Brand new, super nice, works good. I replaced these hoses on 2 of the bathrooms that needed it. I did 1 new shower head, and then I CLR'd all the rest of them so they wouldn't be all clogged up, so those are flowing perfectly now. So showering is a pleasure, and that's working properly. Oh, yeah, the real fun job on the heads. I've replaced all the sewer discharge lines. That was a fun job. I hate that job, but all 4 heads have new lines on them. And this particular head actually has a new pump. I replaced the maceration pump on this one. So all the maceration pumps and all the lines are clean and fresh, and nothing's clogged up or going to get clogged up too easy. That's great. Okay, now trying to get you a view down to the bilges, if we can get any light on the subject. So I spent a lot of time in the bilges, and one of the things I did is a new shower pump reservoir, and this is one of the special features on this boat. You don't have to push a button when you get in the shower. The shower is drained into this little box, and then there's a bilge pump in here, and it's an off-the-shelf, easy to replace bilge pump. Super cheap if you need to replace it, and that pumps the water out from the showers. So I put that new one on, that new box on there. I also put brand new bilge pump and brand new switch, float switch in the bilge. So all that is new and fully functioning. And then I'll show you in here. There's all the pumps are contained inside this box here, and I'll show you that. So this is just one part of one box, but I can kind of show you what happened, what's going on in here. So I went through on this boat and I resealed all the raw water filters. And of course I cleaned them out and checked the gaskets on them and got all that fresh and functioning good. But I actually took the fittings out and re-screwed them in with fresh Teflon tape and got them, so because they were weeping. All of them wanted to weep a little bit from age, I think, or what have you. While we're down here, you get to see the pumps. All over this boat, all the pumps are these Seaflow commercial grade pumps. And these are great pumps, super reliable. And the nice thing is that everything on the boat pretty much uses the same pumps. So you could just carry one as a spare, and if you have any problems, super easy to replace. I've got a collection of fittings that are specific to these pumps and to the hoses on this boat. So if you need new fittings, they're on the boat with the pumps. So yeah, super easy no matter where you go in the world. You could carry a couple of these and not even have to worry about it. One project that I am still in the middle of is rebuilding the door latches on here. These guys are getting only on this. I'm only doing this side of the boat. The other side's a little held up a little better, but these guys are getting real sticky and not working very good. And so I've got them out. I'm trying to work on replacing springs and just getting them working better. And that I'm still kind of trying to find the right springs on that. So those are kind of work in progress, but one of the only things left that I have to deal with right now is these door latches. Okay, so we're down between the two cabins, just down the stairs here, and this is where the heat pumps are located. So thermostat's right here, and I'll open this up for you so you can see. Okay, now this Mabrew unit is a 12,000 BTU, and it costs 3 times an AC powered unit. This is direct current DC powered, but it's also 3 times as efficient. So if you're willing to pay the big bucks, then this is how this boat can run just off solar power and batteries. So the main control unit's back up here, and yeah, this guy will cool both cabins. It's ducted to the front and the back cabins on each side, and yeah, you can run your air conditioning at night, not even worry about it. They're also reversible, and they can heat also. Oh, you might notice that I'm experimenting here with a couple shims under this because I'm trying to promote better drainage of the condensation. So that's a little thing I'm working on. I think just shimmed a little bit is actually going to be a better setup for this. And the other side, I'm doing the similar kind of thing, trying to get the drainage a little better so you don't get liquid just pooling up in here. And so dealing with that, that's one of my projects going on right now, but a minor thing, and it's working pretty good the way it is right now. Oh, we should also talk about this decking. This decking is by Safe Floors, and I've never seen it on a catamaran before, and haven't seen anyone else who has. And I think just because it's very expensive to put down, and this boat has it everywhere. Every surface that you potentially walk on, it has it, and it's really helped. This actually used to be a dangerous spot on the boat coming down from the helm station, and it's easy to slip here, and not anymore, and it's super grippy. And it's relatively cool in the sun, so you can walk on it bare feet. You won't slip. I mean, it really is pretty good stuff. Okay, so I want to talk to you a little more about just some general things about the boat. And one of the things I can't really show you on camera really easy is the water heaters. One thing that is really interesting on this boat is one of the water heaters is converted to 12 volt. And actually, right now while I'm on anchor, I'm using that water heater because it's so efficient. You could just leave it on and just have hot water all the time and just run it off solar and batteries. So while I'm on anchor, now I can turn on the other one, which is AC powered. It sucks a little more power, but it also heats really fast. So if I need water on the other side of the boat, I can turn that on for 20 minutes and have hot water over there. So that's usually how I use it. You could actually leave both of them on, but then your draw on the power starts to add up a little bit if you just leave them on all the time. So that's how the hot water works. Oh, okay. So with finishing up all the work here on the boat, I actually just had the surveyor here and had the surveyor go through all the in-water stuff, and he has gone through every last thing on the boat. I asked him to focus hard on structural because of the history of the boat. So he's done that, and he'll finish the survey here in a few days when the boat gets hauled out. So with the conclusion of of me getting through everything and getting all my checklists done, the boat is being hauled out, and then I have it scheduled to have the bottom completely redone with new bottom paint, have the sail drives serviced and sealed, and anything else that it needs to get done at that time. So with all this boat is completely ready to deliver to a new owner. And my plan is to have her on the hard until the new owner's ready for her. So with the video of her, with the survey, with the fact that she's just been serviced at the marina, hopefully a new buyer will be very confident then to move forward, and she'll be there. And then once we have a buyer, I have no problem at that point, splashing the boat and spend a week after splash, get her all cleaned up, get her really ready to go, because anytime she sits on the hard, she's gonna need a good wash and everything. So yeah, so I'm not just gonna leave her on the hard for a new owner. I mean, we can splash her and make sure she's good to go if that's what somebody wants. As far as a purchase goes, I've got a title and escrow company that can handle everything. They're great. They've already worked with this boat before. They'll make sure legally it changes hands correctly. They can do registrations, Coast Guard, the Coast Guard registration, everything. So I've got those guys lined up. I've got a purchase contract ready to go if somebody needs it. We can make it real easy, so that's good. Just trying to check off every box so that it's a it's a no-brainer for a new buyer. Okay, so we've got to talk about a couple different things yet, just to get you a full picture of what this boat's about. And the first thing we need to talk about is right now is the history of the boat. And if you've read the description of the boat, you already know this boat was in Hurricane Irma, and she was down in Tortuga with hundreds of other catamarans. And when the storm hit, she was on a dock, lined up with 50 other catamarans, and that storm hit pretty hard, and she did sink one hull during that storm, and essentially got damaged right where she was tied to the dock. The dock, clearly, the dock and the boat had way too much violence, and it caused that side of the boat to sink. So yeah, there was there was a lot of trauma then, but the way that went is the previous owner of this boat, my friend, he purchased the boat in Tortuga, and then had it shipped by barge to Antigua, where there was adequate, where they could find adequate help to get and space to get the boat rehabbed. So she was taken by barge and left, and then put up on land and rebuilt, everything rebuilt on land, and she was resplashed in 2019. And since 2019, she has been sailing up and down the eastern seaboard from the Caribbean all the way to Maine multiple times. She's got thousands and thousands and thousands of miles of sailing under her. I've said before, this is not a dock queen. She's been working and sailing and on anchor pretty much the entire time since 2019. So she's very proven, and the surveyor actually kind of agreed that, yeah, he checked all the repairs that were made back then. He said, maybe they're not as pretty as they could be, but they are adequate. They're strong. They've held up. There's, nothing's degraded or failed since 2019. So he had a couple of little pointers. He said you could add a little tabbing in this one spot. You could fair this and give it some gel coat to look nicer, but structurally it's fine. So yeah, so I really am happy with how that came out. Structurally, she's got a clean bill of health. Insurance wise, she's never been insured as a salvage title. She's insured as a regular regular boat. The insurance for me is actually pretty cheap because I'm not leaving the country. If you're keeping her in U.S. and Caribbean, U.S. and Bahamas, basically, you can get pretty cheap insurance. If you're planning to sail around the world, well, that's a whole other thing, and you got to deal with the the blue water sailing insurance, which is difficult and expensive. So that's just a fact of life with any catamaran. Okay, let's talk about any flaws in the boat, because I have, I priced, considering some of the amazing features she has, I'm pricing her pretty low, and that's because she still retains some flaws that someone would probably want to deal with. She's got some nicks and scrapes that are all the way from the hurricane, that you'll see around the boat. Nothing super obvious, but there's some little things. Inside, there's things aren't perfectly flawless. She's been used for a lot of years, so yeah, she's not like a brand new looking boat necessarily. She's got her nicks and scrapes, but so there's that. And then probably the most annoying thing to me, which has absolutely no effect on the function of the boat, but which bugs the hell out of me, is the windows. If you're familiar with Leopard catamarans, specifically these 48s, they pretty much all suffer the same fate. At the forepeak windows, as the Sika dries, there's less flexibility, and they tend to crack at the forepeak windows. So yeah, this boat has that, and so yeah, windows are something that visually it's an eyesore, and functionally it makes no difference. I mean, they don't leak or anything. But yeah, visually that bugs me, and I've been pursuing quotes on windows, thinking to maybe try to get that done, and it's not going to be something I can handle before the boat sells. I just don't have the time and the ability to get that done. I just need the boat sold. I wasn't planning to be here owning a boat at this time, so we're just gonna have to price it less, and then whoever buys it, they could do the windows or not do the windows, and we'll just take that off the price of the boat. So and I do know the numbers. So the window quotes I've got have all come in pretty close to $2,000 a window. Now it's just a big piece of plexiglass. I'm pretty sure that there you could get some quality glass at less price than that, but I've only got 2 quotes back. So, but one of those quotes was actually for the brand from the original factory windows out of South Africa. So, and the weird thing is the one from the U.S. the quote I got was the same price as the original factory windows from South Africa. So I got to think there's some cheaper companies still out there to find. But yeah, so you're looking at $2,000 a window, and my suggestion would be to do all 4 salon windows so that the tint would match. You know, if you replace just a couple, maybe if you got factory windows, it wouldn't matter. But my thinking is you're doing 4 salon windows, and really needed anyway to redo the Sika so it's fresh, so no new cracks form. That's a factor. And then the other, like, I guess I wouldn't call it a defect, just a difference with this boat, is the mast. So this boat does have a shorter mast than a stock Leopard 48. You know, it functions well with this mast. I mean, the rigging is good and fairly recent. So you know, really the mast and is fine if you want to live with it that way. But if you're a stickler for having things original and stock to the boat, well, then a mast is something you could look at. And you know, with catamarans, you know, with boats, with sailboats, you know, you redo the rigging every so many years. So I think that at some point, you know, whoever owns this will probably swap out the mast and rigging for newer, updated stuff. It's a great chance to look at a furling sail, which would be really cool on this boat. You know, and then there's some other new technology out there that might be really interesting. So, you know, if you're thinking to customize a boat, anyways, this is perfect because it works fine the way it is. You can use this mast and this sail and this configuration. It works great, but then you know, you're paying a little less, and you can upgrade it later. So that's the story on that. And she does sail really great. So I'll put a video in here of the last time, not the last time, but one of the last times I had her out on sail. That just gives you an idea of how she sails and what in wind conditions and sea conditions and everything. So, so I'll give you a little video of that after I finish here. So just a little video to show just how nice this boat sails. We got wind that's gusting over 20, but sustained about 15 to 20, and you know, we have a shorter mast, so the sail's always reefed. But even with it reefed, we always haul ass. I mean, this is a fast boat, really. I mean, right now, Craig's in the 8 knot range, 8 to 9. And this boat loves to run in the 8 to 10 range. And the wind, we had a pretty good wind angle. Said it's been creeping up over 20, but for the most part, under 20. Beautiful seas, calm today because the sun coming in off the land. So perfect conditions, really. This is about the slowest we've sailed in this whole trip down the coast. Hard to believe, but yeah, it's true. So now she's dropped down a little bit to the 7s. And the wind's dropping down a little bit, but still, yeah, down under 15 now. We get the gusts going, and then we sometimes we'll get up over 8, and then we slow down a little bit. But yeah, anyway, that's how she sails. She's a pretty fast boat. Pleasure to sail. So I want to take an opportunity to show you the most generous storage on this boat is under these front bunks. And for scale, I have a full-size suitcase in here. And you can see that guy back there is a ton of space under here. It's almost like a child's bedroom size. It's crazy. So I'm here in the quarter berth, and I'm just gonna show it's tight squeeze, but There's two USB plugs there. There's shelves in here, and there's shelves up there. There's a mattress that goes here where I'm at. I just have it pulled out right now. Under the quarter berth is a huge storage area, and I'm putting down the spare props. There's 2 spare props. You just make out the edge of the prop down there on the very bottom, and then the 2 paddle boards. I'm evening out the weight between the 2 sides of the boat, so 2 paddle boards on each side of the boat. Also down there is what you call a puppy pad. It's a pad that you can attach to the sugar scoop to allow your dog to climb out of the water if you have a dog that likes to swim on the boat. So that is for that, because the sugar scoops are real high on this boat. So then the mattress goes in here, and that's about it. Okay, I'm gonna attempt to show you the skipper's quarters. Just drop down in here and show you what's in here, and also the arrangement. So you can't really see it. There's some shelving back there at the point, just like the quarter berth on the other side. In here we've got 2 more paddle boards, wakeboard, there's a broom and mop, and then some fishing equipment. There's even a little tackle box with some fishing equipment, a few little odds and ends in the storage area over here. Now there's a sink in here, and this is actually meant to be a shower, and there was actually a toilet here at one point. And so one thing I'll point out, it's become a trendy thing with catamarans to have a workshop. And on this boat, it seems to me that this little space would actually make a great workshop, because you can modify it however you like, but it's even got a sink in it. You could have a hand washing station. Nothing can be modified to be just about anything, but it's a decent sized space. Pretty good starting platform for a workshop if someone wanted to use it for that. But it could go a number of different ways, or it could just stay kind of a storage room like it is right now. Okay, so there's mostly just bins down here, and each bin is categorized by what it is. So for instance, this one is spare parts. There's every kind of spare part in here, including the standard pumps we use, this bilge pump, every filter for the motor, impeller kits, everything in there. Painting in fiberglass is complete. There's fiberglass in there, there's resins, there's filler, there's everything, all reasonably, well, not all of it's completely fresh, but some pretty new stuff in there. Plumbing and miscellaneous parts, just totally filled with plumbing. Every sort of bit and bob is in there that could be used for plumbing on the boat. I'm into the electrical right now, organizing some stuff, and there's everything. There's every terminal for every size of battery, every kind of connector, every kind of heat shrink, every kind of fuse. Down in here there's a whole bin of fuses. There's every single, and that might actually be in the wrong place because those are O-rings, but every single type of O-ring, which might be a plumbing thing, but it's in here. And every tool you need, extra wire for every kind of wire, complete set of stuff. This one's all polishing and solvents and that kind of stuff for detailing the boat. So, and then this one right here is all tools, all various tools that could be needed. And then also down here, not in bins, there's just some random stuff. Could be a little more organized, like I said, but there's spare pieces of wood and starboard, which you could use for emergencies or just about anything. And then there's the fold-out wagon for going to shore and hauling things. The extra gel coat that matches the color of the boat is right down there in a jug. And a few other miscellaneous things, but yeah, that's pretty much. There's a big pump down here, emergency kind of pump, and yeah, that's pretty much the state of that, or this hatch. Now, this is the state of the other front locker here. You got the 2 big water tanks, so 200 gallons. This is fender storage, and there's actually some extra water jugs in there if you had to go to shore for water. There's I think down there is where the spare anchor is. Needs a little organization here. I just haven't got to that yet, but that's what's going on under here. We're going to look in this compartment back here in the back. Just a real quick look in here. There is an oil change kit for the motors in here, so then naturally that's where the spare oil is, and then there's empty containers there, so you have something to fill when you're changing oil. spare fuel tank containers in here. Some things you need on a regular basis to clean and polish on the boat. Dinghy, can of fuel for the dinghy. And then there's numerous life jackets in here. I think there's 10 or 12 of them if I remember correctly. Plus there's more life jackets elsewhere. Okay, so I got the quarter berth all packed up here the way it's ready to travel. Under the cushions down there is what's left of a ditch bag. Needs to kind of be refreshed. And then another bag with harnesses for climbing the mast. And then in here we've got the actual bed cushion that goes in this quarter berth, along with these big sunbathing cushions and lots of other chair cushions, plus all the fans, all the portable fans. I'll quickly show you some of the tools on the boat. These are the power tools. All the Ryobi 1 tools. Got the grinder, the offset saw, the circular saw, the sander, and the drill, and a couple of these big 4 amp hour batteries. This right here is one of the most vital spare parts bins, because all the stainless steel hardware of all different types and sizes for just about everything on the boat. Okay, I will point out also that there is storage under the floor in these 2 compartments. At one point we were keeping canned food. Now this used to all be canned food for long voyages, but now it's just become a collection of some of the things we really need frequently on the boat, but however you want to organize it. And this other one always has kind of been stuff that you might need urgently. So there's bungee cords and zip ties and things like that in here. Also a harness for going up the mast, blocks and spare parts for sails and rigging. So we're in the starboard hull in the forward section. This is under the bed, and this is where the extra sheets, a few extra towels. There aren't really many extra towels left in the boat at this point, but some throw pillows, some of them in their zipped on cases, some not. And then enough space bags are in here to pretty much keep all the linens in the entire boat stored if the boat needs to be stored for any length of time. So they're in here, and that's all that's under here. My suitcase will be here as long as I am. Now I'm in the port forward cabin. Just going to show you how things are arranged. Under the floor in port forward cabin is where all the laundry supplies are. So they're laundry bags, detergent, clothesline if you want to hang clothes out. It's also where all the shopping bags are on both sides, different sizes of shopping bags, including cool bags. Extra tissue and toilet paper could be down here. Also in this cabin on the shelves right now, I just have extra cleaning towels, and up there that bin is just full of more of these type of bins for storing things. So that's what's going on in here.